Basically, the assignment for this class was to list your values and why you prioritize them. I was really excited to write that paper from day one, but the more that I have thought about the world, the more I've lost faith in the concept of having values as a whole. My paper is 3 weeks late, and it's about why I have values. It's not even about my values, really. Probably won't get a full grade, but some paper has to be better than no paper. This is what I wrote. My values. A somewhat motivational depiction of what it means to be human with a comically long title by Zia Nelson. A question many can't stop asking. Why bother with morals? The sentiment of holding ethics and being screwed over in the process. The concept of letting everyone else win because losing is what's right. As I get older, my wariness increases. It's time to grow up, and that means facing some hard truths. When thinking about these truths, I become jaded. I see facts, form opinions, and I'm certain that my evaluation is correct. I let the fact that others don't see it drive me crazy. I didn't say see it my way. That's because I don't really care if we disagree, so long as you're at least trying to make sense of things. Some people don't see anything at all. They don't think about their ethics or current events. To me, that's scarier than differing opinions. Along with these difficult truths, I've realized that there are also some very simple truths. Everyone deserves basic rights and to be treated with kindness. The division in the world stems from fear. Greed for success is born from fear of being at the bottom. This can be seen politically and socially. At the beginning of the year, I met a new roommate. By default, she respected me. I can appreciate that. My goal isn't to shame her. But when I began to uphold my values, not wanting to say nasty things even in private, she'd get annoyed. When she realized that I actually meant it, that I was really like this, she stopped respecting me. To be honest, I'm sure there were other reasons she disliked me. I know the other reasons. It's because I was a drug addict. Not super actively, but it is a part of me. But she was a huge bitch to me before she even knew that about me, so give me your point for that one, let me know. But that's not to my point. The longer this occurred, the more she'd attack me in my own house. She'd talk loudly about traits I possessed being tacky, as though the goal of my appearance was ever class. She'd make remarks at my misfortune. I kept meeting her with kindness, and it kept getting worse. Towards the end, I realized it was ridiculous to die on this hill. I started returning the hostility. I stopped trying to extend an olive branch because at this point it was only hurting me. When I make this type of decision, it's unwavering. Despite her recent attempts at kindness, I will never be friends or acquaintances with this person again. I know the newfound appreciation stems from my aggression and the incline of my success. I don't want to know someone like that. This is proof that when some people see power, their instinct is to seize it. Piñatas are another good example of this. At birthday parties, I used to wait until other kids were done tearing each other apart over candy. I'd pick through the leftovers and take what I wanted. I didn't have the most candy. In fact, I usually had the least. But I had candy that I enjoyed and would eat. I didn't feel like I lost. I didn't feel like I'd won either. I didn't read it as a competition. The winner role was always meant for someone else. Someone must believe they are the one in a million because objectively, someone has to be. Consequentially, someone also must be at the bottom. I don't want to be at the bottom. I don't know if I can afford to have the least candy anymore because the people with the most candy end up being the ones respected and treated with dignity. So the question of my own ethics has boiled down to, is it worth it? When looking at it logistically, no, it's not. But then I thought about it harder. No way my big intellectual conclusion was give up. I technically have no reason to hold on to values. My ethics don't put me on top. I should dislike myself for not viewing things a certain way. Surely the human brain will operate off of reason rather than emotion. At least mine should. There are parallels when contemplating the political system. This should be like that. They shouldn't want to hog all the candy. We should all be able to see this gaping error. But I've decided that thinking in shoulds is a recipe for discontentment. Instead, I'll circle back. I'll think about the way things can be with enough cooperation. I'll appreciate my human emotions. I'll be seen as the bottom rung by some, because in the same way that someone has to be the winner, everyone else must be the losers. If that's how you choose to see it, Feeling like you lost would be soul-crushing, I'd imagine. Being one of the 999,999 may not be glamorous, but it's a necessary role. I've been given the ability to not care about whether I'm winning, to not even see it that way. If some are limited to the opposite viewpoint, I can make that sacrifice for them without their acknowledgement. In the case of my ex-roommate, I was trying to bring peace to my home. It didn't work out, but I'm proud that that was my innate response. On all scales, that's how I view the world. Conflict is necessary at times, but peace should be the default. I've decided to keep acting on my values, consisting of equality with acknowledgement of differences, respect, unity, civility, and peace. Conflict can be a final measure while not being feared. Hate must be met with kindness until kindness is no longer an option. Logic is to be valued even if the conclusion isn't the same as your own. Compromises and sacrifices are to be made, and this can be done without the world knowing. The people that think you're weak can continue to do so, because they're not happy either. Making personal sacrifices that you don't break even on will always be better than the insatiable need to succeed. It's hard to apply this to politics. Politicians tend to be the children that push everyone out of the way for first pick of candy. People in power tend to value power. That's my whole point. But I don't always need to think about things on the large scale. Sometimes that's hopeless. Right now, I'm thinking of myself, and I know that I will always pick through the candy. I'll always put peace above personal gain, and I'll surround myself with people who do the same. That's how I was born, and that's what goodness is. Thank you.